Season 2 of the solo leveling anime has brought a lot of new players to solo leveling Arise, and with that has brought forward a lot of mistakes that I've noticed these new players make. So today, let's go over the top mistakes that I see new players making. Now real quick, if you like the video, a like and subscribe would be appreciated, and if you want to be a part of the community, a link to the Discord is in the description. As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments or ping me in the Discord at any time. The first thing I want to talk about is the use of Essence Stones. I see people putting all of it into the rate of banners, even using some of it into the custom draw for the weapon custom draw. I see people using it to refresh keys, but there is a few things I never want you to do. Don't use them on the weapon custom draw, don't use them on the custom draw. You get these tickets over time, especially the custom draw ones, you get an insane amount. And the reason to never use it on the weapon custom draw is that you can lose the 50 on the custom draw banner, on the rate of banner, and get weapons anyway. Not to mention that you can get weapon designs for the hunter weapons and the Sung Jin Woo weapons, so there really isn't a need to use your essence stones to summon for them. Another use for them is the armory. You can spend 2,000 to unlock a new slot. Now, if you're a beginner, that isn't really great, because you want new SSRs to clear more content. However, in the new April update, there will be a whole nother row of weapons in the armory that will all give you armory total power increases. So not as much now, but more so when your account gets a bit further into the game, you might be using these to do stuff like that. My final point about Essence Stones is that these rate up characters aren't always the best. Now, luckily, if you do like the Wind team, Murray is the best Wind DPS, one of the best DPS in the game, and Goto is the best break in the game. So luckily, if you have joined like now and you've been spending on these, that's fine. These are amazing, but just make sure you're searching up tier lists on YouTube. There's a lot of good ones on there. Don't just search up one, watch a few different ones from a few different people and, you know, see what the general agreement is on the best characters. And make sure if you are spending on the rate of banners that it is a high tier unit. Obviously, that's my opinion on gacha games. If, for instance, you absolutely love Choi, even though he isn't a part of the best or the meta fire team, if you like him, summon for him, you know? Put him on your selection list. But moving on now, let's talk about material allocation. Specifically, the materials that you get from events. Let's use the Jeju Island Alliance raid as an example. For this one, you get the coins. They have an exchange shop. Now, what should you be buying? First priority should always be the Shadow Energy. This is really difficult to come across, so anytime it's in an exchange shop like that, make sure to get it. My next one was the Mark of Time, because of the new update that's rolling around the corner. Next priority, I would say, would be the Traces of Shadow, and then the Abyssal Fragment Energy and Essence. And then it's really up to you for just what your account needs. Let's go back to talking about meta. So in this game and in most gacha games, there are meta units that are better than others. Even in the same role and elements. So for instance, Goto, the new character, is a Wind Break. We have a Wind Break, Woojin Chul. Goto is miles better than Woojin Chul. However, again, if you love Woojin Chul and you don't care about the meta, you can build him. My next point is that materials are scarce. Make sure you're not wasting them on units that you don't need. Now, solo leveling is great because as content changes, different units are used for different things. There's even cases where Kim is used in content because of his skill that deals, is it Almighty Break? Heavy break on his support skill. I believe he is the only unit in the game with a heavy break on the support. Even Goto, who is the best breaker in the game, only has a medium break on the support. So there is even content for SRs. This means that although I want you to be careful with who you're building right now, eventually you will probably get round to building everyone. So if you're going for the Wind team, but you get a fire character that you absolutely love, I would recommend focusing on building the most powerful team that you can first. Get through the content, get through the story, and once you're comfortable enough to beat the higher tier content, start building up the characters that you love. Now that's just my opinion on how to play the game. Obviously you might want to play it a different way, that's fine, but that's what I would recommend. The next one I see is not understanding what the hunters do for Sung Jin Woo. Now, a lot of people just have their main 3 hunters as Sung Jin Woo supports, and that isn't really the best way to do it. In my opinion, you want a break as a support, a DPS, and a support unit as the support. For me, that's Murray for DPS, Goto for the break, and Mei Lane as the support. Now, to see what the support skills are, you go onto the skills tab, which is here, and it is the support skill here under special skills. When you're using Sun Jin Woo and you click, I believe it's 1, 2, or 3 will be the slot for your hunter characters. That correlates to this skill. Goto does a load of break damage. Mei Lin is absolutely insane. She deals water damage and restores Sun Jin Woo's HP equal to 8% of her HP. Not only that, but it also buffs Sun Jin Woo's attack by 16% and decreases his damage taken by 16%. So your hunter team might be different from your Sun Jin Woo hunter team. Now I would suggest the main hunter team that you're building to have some characters that you can also use in the Sun Jin Woo team. Hansei Mi, a support, but she isn't great as a support for Sun Jin Woo. She recovers mana a little bit and gives him a tiny shield. It's nowhere near as good as Mei Lin's support skill. However, she is great for the full wind team. It normally works out like this if you're using the light team. Gogun Hee has a break. Thomas Andre does a lot of damage and gives a shield. And Min heals the team. So I would recommend you definitely look at all of your hunter's support skills and build a support team around that. The next thing I want to talk about is priority. You really just need to get through as much story as you can. Not only does it give you the XP for the account, which means you can get your Sun Jin Woo and Hunter's level higher, but it also unlocks content as you progress through the story and gives you a ridiculous amount of rewards through the trophies. Another thing that becomes difficult to get is the skill scrolls. So make sure you're not upgrading skills that aren't going to give him the most amount of value for what you're putting in. For example, if you've picked, a team of 3 that you want, there is a skill guide here. Now this, the recommended skill level up order, is insanely accurate. Sometimes in games, they recommend something that is a bit subpar, but Netmarble have actually done a great job of telling you which skills you need to upgrade first. With Goto, it's his 2 basic skills. If we go to Mireille, it tells us it's her 2 basic skills as well. Same with Hansei Mi. So I'm able to focus all of my resources on upgrading those 6 skills instead of trying to spread them around subpar skills that these hunters have. It is the same with Sun Jin Woo. Now I'm using him on a break skill layout, which means I'm using the Armor Break Vacuum Wave and the Dagger Rush Desperation. These both deal break. Now you can actually level up these skills by going to the skill tab and selecting them. Make sure to do this early on and pick a skill loadout. Now there's a lot of videos out there going really in depth on these skills, which I would recommend. But once you've picked some, make sure to level them up and level only them up. There will be a few cases later, like the Dagger Toss in, I believe, Guild Boss is absolutely amazing. But yeah, make sure you're not just upgrading a load of random skills. Make sure you're only using your skill scrolls on skills that you actually are going to use. Real quick, I do want to mention the ultimate skill, Truth Mutilate. This is his best skill until you get the one of the job upgrades. I think it's Shadow Monarch, but I will quickly double check. The Monarch of Shadows, Master of the Abyss. You do get a better ultimate skill, King's Domain, so don't worry about it too much. You should upgrade the ultimate skill, maybe just to 7, and then wait until the new job rolls around. I really quickly want to talk about this event that you get every couple days. It might always be on a Saturday. I'm not 100% sure, but there is a 100% gold discount when unequipping an artifact. If you don't know, on artifacts, it actually, if I change this to this, it will say swapping an artifact will consume gold. Obviously, because the event is there, it's a 0, but you do have to pay a sum when swapping artifacts when that event isn't on. Early game, it doesn't really matter because you'll only be swapping around 1 or 2. However, in the next update, there will be new artifact levels, probably to like 95, 99, 100. Right now, the max is 78 for the burning objects or 75 for the rest of them. And you'll be wanting to grind out the new level artifacts and swapping all of these out. Now, if you're doing that with a load of characters, that's going to cost a lot of gold. Make sure to do it while this event is out. Next up, Army of Shadows. There are a few shadows that are just miles above of the rest. To just give you a quick 3 that you get early on, Igris, Serbi, and Tusk, there he is, are a great 3. I like to run Igris, Beru, and Serbi. Beru's leader skill, the entire team's attack and crit damage increased by 4%. That's amazing. You can use Serbi's, all members' crit hit damage increased by 4%. That's great. So the reason I'm mentioning this is don't upgrade all of your shadows straight away, especially when you're early game. Pick 3 main ones that you want to get a higher level and focus on them. These are insanely difficult to get, the shadow energy, and honestly any of the upgrade materials for the shadows are insanely scarce. So make sure that you're upgrading the skills that are useful to each one. To give a quick shout for Igris, it's any skill that gives bleed is amazing. So I would do the Earth Slash. Apart from that, the Blade Axe is absolutely amazing. Increases the user's attack by 100%. For Beru, we're looking at I Shall Devour You and this special skill, which I haven't unlocked yet. The Shadow's healing given increases by 15%. That's amazing. And there are a lot of Shadow guides out there, so make sure to just search that on YouTube. Don't waste materials on shadows that you're not going to use for a while. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is weapons, and this might seem insane to you, but people are salvaging SSR weapons because they give you 600 exclusive weapon designs. Now, yes, that is amazing. However, the armory gives your account a boost based on the level of your Sungjin Woo SSR weapons. Or not SSR, I think you can probably put in SR weapons too. So just his weapons in general. As you can see, 117% transfer ratio from the DKDs and the Plum Sword. Now, right now, we have 12 slots. I think in the next update, we'll have 18 slots. Eventually, like, if you are looking at the big picture, the best case scenario is having 18 A10 SSR weapons. Or maybe the Westwind being an SR weapon. That's probably the only SR weapon that I would recommend. So yeah, it might be tempting to just, you know, salvage one that you're not using and get a hunter weapon. But in the long run, that's not going to be an ideal situation, and honestly, you're probably going to regret it. However, honestly, any SR hunter weapon you can salvage, and the same with Sungjin Woo, except from the Westwind. That's amazing. Yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Again, if it was helpful, like and subscribe would be appreciated. If you've noticed anything that I haven't said in this video, please leave a comment in the description to help new players out. This community is really helpful with stuff like that, and I'm super grateful for that. If you want to hang out outside of YouTube, there's a link to my Discord in the description. I love to talk to people there, but I hope you have a good night. See ya.